Well, if we get incredibly lucky, it could be a job for one person and a team of military repair bots.
Good point.
Well, it is basically a shell and an axle.
That's an interesting idea. You're thinking that there'd be some way that we might be able to try and repurpose them?
Oh, these little guys? Nah, they're just meant for cleaning. They wouldn't even have the tools. But I'm sure a base like this has automated repair systems.
You did forget that the base is simply a civilian thing taken over, right?
Well, yeah, I'm not talking about like a actual like facility for it. I mean like robots that would repair things. I doubt they would at that stage in humanity's development would still be relying on human mechanics.
1 second, I need to be right back.
I can picture it now. My own med bay following me wherever I go.
I mean, just think of the range you'll get on your sports car. You'll be able to drive this thing out and then just fly out in that in the middle of nowhere and not have to worry about wasting your fuel just to get that far.
That's something, I guess. I don't know.
Logan,
I'm still pretty skeptical that you can make this thing go anywhere. It looks like a hunk of junk to me.
We can put in a mini fridge.
I imagine if this is going to be a mobile base, we're going to need more than a mini fridge. We're going to need a couple of real fridges.
And a bar.
See, that's the way. That's how we'll get him on board.
Maybe even
Alcohol.
You know, you gotta unwind sometimes.
Need to think of it this way. Depending on how this works out, we could even have our own little mini brewery in there.
Yeah, I really don't think this hunk of junk is going nowhere. I don't know how you plan on fixing this thing.
Oh, have some faith, why don't you?
I mean, worst case scenario, we just get this thing able to move, period, and we can bring it up to Dusky and pay him a handsome sum.
Jeez, he's gonna ask for an arm and a leg. I can see his face already.
You think maybe we could even take it over to Ruski's and ask him to touch it up with anything?
If you want it to explode, sure, he's your guy.
We don't really have anybody that owes us any major favors, though, do we?
Yeah, you do. You may have forgotten, but the mechanic guy offered. And I am back. Sorry about that. Really sorry. Turns out I have an emergency, but we can finish this up before I have to head out. Still.
Okay.
Yeah. If you remember, you were given contact information in case you needed any help by the mechanic outside of Houston.
You mean Dusky?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about him.
So maybe not quite the arm and a leg we were thinking.
Speaking of NPCs, I wonder what happened to that guy that I brought his form back. I wonder if he finally, rolled out of predicament, no longer home.
You probably have to go back and check.
I guess I'll cautiously, because Ruben's not sure how much he still trusts the turrets or anything like that. He's gonna cautiously go scoping out for an entrance to the base, because what we need is probably further inside.
Well, you're already
we can
inside
probably.
the base. There's a.
I mean, like we're in the courtyard, and then.
Right, I think there's some misunderstandings. There's one building, a large concrete building that's for flood control, that's been taken over by the military. There are concrete dividers built up into walls around the courtyard area just outside of a flood control building. This area contains many vehicles, many of them rusted out, and also tents. You are inside
Okay.
the base currently.
I guess
And the flood control building was pretty small then, right?
Well, the areas you can get to, yes, unless you wanted to
Okay.
physically go into the areas that can hold all the water.
Ruben's just gonna, I guess, pick a tent and cautiously make his way over there, interested in what kind of supplies that could be scrounged up.
If you wish to search for a military base, you may roll perception.
Sound like a plan.
I'm not extremely perceptive, but like, let's do it. I believe in me.
Don't worry, Doc, I gotcha.
Right. So basically, as you're searching around, there are several tents with some, well, basic uniform type stuff, moth-ridden. There's some basically foot lockers, personal effects for soldiers that used to be here. There's also, well, the tent that was most pointed out to Logan was the, well, two tents. One that had a wire fence around it, and one with a giant red cross on it. One with a giant red cross on it had what appeared to be a medical bed inside.
I'm not even gonna enter that. I'm just gonna call Ruben over and say, that's probably your area of expertise, Doc. I'll check the one next door.
Don't mind me if I do.
Can I use my advantage to potentially find a duty roster to see if I can track down the military person who was helping with the smuggling operation where they were bunked?
You may do. Let's see. What would be something to do? Education, I believe. Since you're trying to relate to
Alright.
things using your smarts and cleverness.
Would I be able to assist him with that?
You may do after you do what you wanted to do, unless this is the first thing you wanted to do.
Never mind, Ruben's too distracted by the medical tent.
And this is standard difficulty?
Yes, yeah, it is will be standard difficulty since you have the ledgers in hand. You already unlocked the computer.
Okay. Hey.
Nice. Essentially, as you're checking over things, you see what appears to be a note on Jameson. Jameson was in charge of a delivery from Omnicorp. Seemed like he was the, well, quartermaster here at this base. And on the computer, there was in fact a small picture of the Omnicorp CEO.
That's interesting.
One moment. This is the picture that you see.
Aggressively Egyptian.
Anybody who's seen a CEO within the Asgard cities knows that they are usually covered in such finery. Not always based on, well, Egyptian, but based on whatever aesthetic they desire.
Are there
I
any
used to look
particular...
into them.
You used to be one of them. Aristocrats.
Fucking blue bloods.
Hey, that happened to me when I stopped being an aristocrat.
Of course, this has several uses. Number one, it's reportedly protection for, you know, in case anybody tries to assassinate them for whatever reason. I mean, Omnicorp is good people. What are you on about? They're good people. Why shoot them? Another reason is it could be a life support system, and also it covers their face, so it may not even be them in the suit at the time.
There seem to be any particular connection with this picture? Like, why is it showing up in connection with the quartermaster?
It seems like the quartermaster received something he shouldn't have from Omnicorp, and the CEO himself contacted him to tell him to give it back.
Wow.
Maybe that's what's in the box.
Of course, reports on Jameson seem to have, well, gone.
I would imagine that this image does not represent the current CEO of Omnicorp. This would have been pre-war, I imagine.
Anybody can roll Core Worlds, which is basically the cities.
I worked for them, so would I have any kind of bonus to that?
Anybody who's worked for them in the past, Ruben and Caleb, you may roll.
Let me just roll that.
Nice.
Two good rolls.
You both would in fact know that this suit is exactly the same.
I'll smell then.
Yeah.
These suits throughout the CEOs seem to be a badge of honor, since every single CEO has the same suit. So it's basically, this is the face, the CEO of the company.
Seem like the same build. Not that I probably would have ever met him in person, I suppose, but
You can't really tell from a picture, and you doubt that you've met him in person. You hardly meet anyone.
I hear he's a very reclusive man. Doesn't like to get out much.
I mean,
Unlike
if
the race.
your public face is a piece of armor, then you can probably get out as much as you want and nobody would even know.
That's true. You know,
It's kind
Yeah,
of weird to think
maybe-
of a mask as being your real face and your human face as being your secret identity, but that's about the way it works.
Ruben just kind of like gives him just like, yeah, strange that just a mask having to become a permanent feature of your face. That would be weird.
just
I mean, we could do your mask up all fancy like if you wanted.
That would be cool.
I don't think you wield the same power as the CEO of that company, though.
Yeah, but the average folk isn't gonna know the difference. They'll think he's somebody super important.
Look, I'm a doctor. I have power over life and death. I demand respect.
So, on to Ruben. In the medical tent, you actually find, well, most of the stuff is way outdated and useless, but the medical bed there, now that's a find, because it's basically helps with automation, and think of it like a workbench, but for the medical profession.
Medical
Ooh.
bay.
Bones. Yeah. Basically, it's what's it called? Back to tank in the books, essentially. You can stick someone in there and they slowly heal.
Place of healing.
That is Ruben just kind of like walks up to it and like starts like stroking the glass in the way that you imagine somebody strokes a new car.
Hello, baby. I know you've missed me.
Aren't you a beaut? I guess after Ruben kind of like has a moment with the back to tank, he's also, I'm gonna look around and see if there's anything like any medical supplies that like aren't like perishable things, like if I can find any like alcohol or anything like that, like anything that wouldn't necessarily go off, but is still useful.
Sadly, it seems like these guys used, standard medical equipment. They didn't use base alcohol. They were using stuff like, well, actual medicine that does go off.
Yeah.
Okay, so since the medicine is old and it went off, Ash, from the medicine that's old and went off, are there any of the type that now that they're excellent hallucinogenic drugs?
Probably. If you wanted to search for those.
Because that's a thing, like the Wolf from Wall Street, like old pills that are from like 50 years ago. God damn, these are good drugs, man.
So, okay, on to Logan. What you find in the cordon off tent, which you can I'm just gonna not even say because you just bash the normal lock
I
off.
was gonna say that I
door.
bashed the lock or I just jumped the rail or something because you said it's slowed off.
You open it up and you find well, their ammo supply. Sadly, C-Air isn't that kind to metal encased bullets, but you do eventually dig your way into the middle crates where you get there's at least I would say, hang on, let me roll.
Right, I want EMP grenades, I want a new sniper rifle, I want a grenade launcher.
There seems to be 2 crates in the middle that seem to be sealed. One seems to be full of ammo. And, 1 second. Actually, you roll 1d100.
Oh, okay. Come on, I want my legendary epic sniper rifle. Wow, that's bad.
What'd you get?
4.
You find another hamburger MRE.
I'd say 4 out of 100 is pretty bad. I probably found a cockroach or something.
You didn't get that bad a thing. You got what is essentially a hollow emitter.
What?
A hollow emitter.
Can you spell that out?
A holographic emitter.
Ah, okay.
A hologram.
Okay.
Essentially, as you open it up, you just find a bunch of documents and stuff. They're not important. It's just like data on, how much ammo they ordered and stuff like that. And you look in and you find like a holographic emitter.
What's that for?
You could use it as a decoy or something.
Well, as you fiddle with it and turn it on, you see like you see that it's a full stand of like a pop idol or something.
Oh god, it's Hatsune Miku.
We just
It
find
seems like-
Hatsune Miku in the future.
Looking back towards documents, it seems like somebody made a personal order. But it does move and, well, copy movements.
If we put an AI in it, I guess that can be our Cortana or something.
We could just plug Adam into it and design a little avatar for him for when he's on the bridge.
Or you could do something really inventive with it to do with sniping.
Fucking decoy.
Good. I mean, I'm just going off the table and I'm just thinking of cool things you could do with it.
Or
You
we
do
could
one of
hook it up
those-
to our new mobile base's sound system and have it attached to the equalizer, and it could perform pop idol songs.
There we go.
It's a fucking dragon!
More like an ancient wyvern.